I need you and Lennon to make a perception check. And Isaac, from your perspective, you do see them hop on a trolley.
Does Tessian see Isaac leave?
So the question is Tessian still in the lobby? What is he up to?
I mean, he probably would only hang out long enough to just kind of head back up the room. But
ways are there to the room? And because I would not be like sneaking down I would walk down the staircase. So if there's one staircase, it's likely we would pass each other. If there's multiple elevators, then maybe not.
I think you'll pass each other. There's multiple ways, but there's really only one way that would make the most sense. You'd have to be going kind of like around and about. You could, but there's one staircase that's pretty close to the room, and another that's way across the building. So I would imagine you guys would cross paths.
Well, if we see each other, Tessian will ask, "Where are you going?"
Thinking. I would say I can't let them go alone. I'm going to tail and keep my distance and I'll be there for backup if needed. But I can't let it fall to them. I'm responsible for what's happening right now, and I have to see it through.
And Tessian will kind of put his hand on Isaac's shoulder, and not in like an aggressive way, but in sort of like a take a deep breath sort of way. And he'll be like, "I know it's hard, but sometimes we have to let people take responsibility for themselves and on our behalf. I think you need to trust them on this, Isaac."
If something goes wrong, it's going to be just the two of them alone in a district that we won't be close to. There will be no backup.
And Tessian's like, "Yes, but if you're with them, you may be putting them in more danger in that very same scenario."
Take a deep breath, and I say, well, what do you think? I'm not convinced I'm being watched right now. To me, it doesn't add up.
And Tessian's like, "Well, a lot of things may not add up, but one thing is certain. You are being watched, Isaac. The wound that has been so graciously healed by our allies on your head should be evidence of that. If you can trust them to heal you when you're caught, I think you need to trust them to not get caught."
Well, what do you think? Do we involve the Crusaders in this? We have a decent location of where we think she might be.
Tessian's like, "I think the Crusaders might be too big to be outside of your father's purview, but I do trust Cavis. I've tried to tip our hand here. I let the detective, or whatever she was, a woman by the name of Montague, she came to look and investigate the shooting, and I let her know that we knew Cavis, and that as a member of House Black, I would appreciate it if he was informed that this had happened here and to me. Hopefully that will tip his hand and let him know that something is amiss."
So we just wait then.
Unfortunately, yes. Care for a drink?
Why not?
Well, Tessian will turn back around and we can go downstairs and have a drink.
I'm surprised that worked.
Drinking buddies.
I'm probably going to go downstairs to drink after about 10 minutes of sitting in the room being bored.
Okay.
Tessian will also ask if Isaac fancies a game of cards.
I've been known to be pretty good in my day. I'll take you up on that.
So if there's a table, I think we'll join a game of cards while they're doing that.
Okay.
And if not, I guess we'll start a table. I don't know if they've got like chips or stuff set aside for people, or if people just play.
The one thing that you notice as you head back downstairs, you were there before and to some extent, but the common area has thinned out quite a bit. There are still a handful of stragglers about, but yeah, there were like several lively card games before. Now,
there was a shooting.
Yeah, things have calmed down, but for the most part, this is even like less busy than it was this morning when you first got here. Even though you have the sense that normally this would be almost its peak time for busyness. So there's certainly like a table and there's some chips and stuff where you can start up your own game. But yeah, there's nobody currently playing down there because everybody's still a little, you know. There are some people down there drinking. They seem to be especially eager about the drinking after what happened, but nobody's playing any games of cards right now.
It wasn't out of cowardice, you know.
And it takes Tessie a second to realize what you're saying. And even though he's like, what wasn't?
Letting the man go. It wasn't out of cowardice, and in fact, I was ready to see just how far my father was willing to take things, but I couldn't risk Lena and the rest of you falling in as collateral damage. I don't know what my father what arrangement he has, and if he cares about their well-being.
And Tessian sort of takes a sip of whatever he's drinking, and he's like, "It's a bold move, brave, maybe a little stupid, to see if your father would kill you on the spot, but I can respect it."
I think he's lost. I don't think he's the man that I knew, and maybe he never was, but I have to believe there's some part of him that wouldn't just kill his own son. Maybe that's naive, but anyways, I just thought I'd wanted to put all the cards on the table with what was going on in my head during that time.
And Tessian's like, "Well, I appreciate you keeping our well-being in mind. Anyway, I call." And he throws down his cards.
I'll have you both make performance checks.
Hell yeah.
Later on, at some point, there's a place with a casino. There's some other stuff. There may be actual like formal rules for this, but for a quick one-off, we'll just have you rate just contested performance checks.
17.
7. Woo!
So, despite your confidence, Tessian, it turns out that even though he seems to be lost in thought, Isaac does have a better hand in this instance, and
That happens.
I am going to fold.
okay.
So I'm going to be confident that I have the better cards, and well, you know, in poker, you can. That's how that works. You can just fold.
Yeah, it's called mucking. You can do that.
Yeah.
So Tessian, you scoop down this modest pot of what is already all the party's funds, anyways.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. We're just sort of playing to play, but yeah.
Looks like you had the better hand.
And can I tell that that's true? I'm gonna insight check you on this one.
Sure.
God, a 9. You'd have to.
You
God.
can't roll anything worth anything today.
I don't know why. This is just my GM.
Do I have to roll something?
No, not with him rolling a 9.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
Tessian's just-
seems legit. You just folded.
When does Karash come down?
Pretty much about now.
Karash, care to join us for a game?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, you don't know is pirates have got nothing better to do while they're just sailing than sit and play cards and drink. This is my pirates, sailors. This is my wheelhouse.
Did they teach you this one, Karash, back on the islands?
I did not play cards on the islands.
Well, you
know
play
how
cards here. Come on.
Yeah. I almost certainly know whatever card game it is because, again, I learned it on the boat. I just lied to you.
Got you. All right. It should be noted, Tessian, you can add the 10 gold back to the party funds. As part of this whole process, the clerk eventually comes up and offers you a refund, as they were talking about doing. They comped the room.
Hell yeah.
They, of course, have not been able to find another person who bought another room, say 522. They don't know where she went to give her money back, so that's still a lost cause for now, but we'll see.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So you can return that. They comp the money. They also comp the drinks, so you don't have to worry about paying for those. Like, they're trying to make sure people are taken care of who were involved in it, and obviously she and the bartender both recognize members of your group, so...
Before we leave, can I roll a perception check? Just that I am Isaac is paranoid that he is being watched.
You can roll a perception check, and I want all three of the gentlemen to roll performance checks.
And by the way, Tessian would have offered you the seat to face the door, by the way.
Okay. 12 perception.
Okay.
And then performance again?
Yeah.
Aha!
Crap. 10.
Fuck that. I'm using a luck point. I don't mind like losing, but that's a bad performance. Literally.
Feely's not impressed.
No.
Okay, 10. That's fine. I
20
doubled. I can live with a 10.
21.
That's like the literal application of luck too.
Yeah.
You got the ace up your sleeve like John Marston. Didn't matter though. Yeah, Tessian gets the better of like the cards as they go for the next like half hour or so, or however long you guys would like to keep playing. But as a general rule, like everybody gets their spots in, but Tessian was probably the one who comes out victorious in that particular session. And Karash,
word of advice, gentlemen: you need to spend money to make money.
Yes. Yeah, you know he's not going to get that.
Yeah, Crash's face is unimpressed. Confused, even.
As far as the perception check goes, as he processes, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Again, there's only a handful of patrons you really have to keep an eye on to begin with, and most of them seem more concerned about the bottom of their own glass than anything else going on at this point. The ones who are especially more spooked by what happened seem to be on a crash course for drinking to forget the whole day. But there's nobody else who really sticks out as like monitoring you guys. Everybody seems to keep to themselves. All right. Grail and Lena, those perception checks, please.
Nat 20.
Oh.
Oh, God, I need to find... 16. Okay.
Oh, it's good I didn't fall.
Yeah, you would have been spotted.
Hey!
Yep.
You also have to figure out how to catch the next trolley and still keep eyes on them.
I was thinking about that, too.
Because you know where they're going, so you could have caught up. But yeah, the journey there, you would not have really had much eyes on them. Anyways, so Grail and Lena, you guys ride the trolley, get a few weird looks. Things are mostly fine, and the city is beautiful. It is extremely well lit. There's lights all over the place, both from inside the buildings and outside of them on the streets. You saw like a very, very, very partitioned down side of this in Falstock. They had decent amount of lights on the street corners and stuff, and it was pretty well lit. This is nothing like that. The whole city kind of takes on an identity of its own in the evening time. And there's still a surprising amount of people out. It's nowhere near the hustle and bustle of the daytime where the streets are just packed in the sea of humanity. But there's still more people than you would expect being out here for like 9 o'clock or so at night. Actually, it's way after that because the meeting was 9. So we'll call it like 10:30. For 10:30 at night, pretty busy out here. At the very least, though, it's a nice change because as you guys step off the trolley near the entire bazaar area, there's room to move. There's room to breathe. There are people, certainly, going to and fro, but for the most part, it's like, hey, I could actually get where I'm going without worrying about running into a million people. Lena, nothing really strikes your fancy as being especially noteworthy here, especially it being your first time. You're just kind of looking around, taking things in, and following Grail's lead. Are you going to continue carrying her, or are you going to like deposit her when you get off the trolley?
Yeah, I'll put her down.
Okay, so she kind of follows in tow at a distance where she can keep an eye on you, but not necessarily like right at your lock and step, unless you want to. Either way, you want to be like right with her?
Close,
okay.
But yeah, like I'll be beside her, but not like on her heels.
There she is.
Hey, it's me.
There's Lena
in human real life.
Yes, we found her. Grail, as you start to get near this location that you guys sketched out before, you are familiar with it, even though it looks a little different in the nighttime. The store has been pulled up. In fact, a lot of the stores are either closed or the tents like opening have been closed off, and everything seems to be kind of quiet for the night. It doesn't seem like most of the shops are open this time of evening. But the one thing you do spot with that Nat 20 is as you're coming up on that alleyway, there are 2 more of those guards coming out of the building and heading in your direction.
Okay. That's fun. I'm going to continue and really I will acknowledge them with like a very short nod, but just keep walking as if I have somewhere I'm going to go or somewhere I am going.
Which direction is that? Which is to say, are you going into the alley?
Yep.
Okay. Putting that 1 and a 3. God, I can't roll for these guys for shit. Every roll I do is single digits.
Fuck yeah, because I'm scared.
The 2 of them give you a look and continue walking. They seem unperturbed by your presence. Even though you're heading into the alley, they don't seem to mind a ton.
Okay. Good. I didn't know what I was gonna have to say to get that to not happen. Okay,
Just lean
so
over
we're
the
gonna.
table at them. It's fine.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that worked last time really well.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep walking. I am going to slow my pace as we walk past the house. And I will give, as I do that, I kind of like will make eye contact with Lena and nod, like to just let her know that this is the place. And I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna go like around, essentially.
So past the two doors across from each other in the alley into the back of it.
Yeah.
Okay, Lenny, you gonna follow?
Yeah, I think I'll maybe stop for a moment just to listen at the door and see if I can't hear anything. But as soon as that's only going to be a couple seconds, and I'll keep following.
Okay, so make a perception check.
Okay,
And Grell, you can too as you look around the back.
Yeah. Okay. $18.
12.
Listening against the door, Lena. Still completely silent on the inside. No voices.
No lights.
No, well, you can't tell from the alley. There were no lights on in the front of the store, but there's no windows in the alley, so.
Right. Right.
But from the front at least was not lit up, no.
No light coming like from underneath the door.
Nope.
Okay.
And looking around back, alley appears to be clear. It's the same as, well, I guess you didn't really see it necessarily, but Isaac saw it earlier where it was just an alley in between some buildings, and it also connects to the other side of this building that you're investigating. There's like an alley on both sides, and it makes a U around the exterior. No windows on the back side either. But there's also nobody here. You don't really hear any noises on the outside of the building or on the inside from Lena's brief time there.
Is there anywhere that we can kind of find cover that, or even just some kind of like divot in the alley where we can kind of just like crouch behind and just kind of wait?
There's really nothing like that in the alley. You do see, just from kind of scoping out the area, that there is a ladder to the rooftops.
Huh. That could be interesting. I didn't even consider roof.
But unless Lena has a garbage can animal form, then there's not going to be anything in the alleyway to assist you here. It's pretty clear.
Yeah. So, I think we should go on the roof. And by now it's dark. It's completely dark, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to kind of like reach my hand down and kind of like make like a this kind of motion, kind of indicate that like I want Lena to like hop up on my shoulder, or like in some way like I want to pick her back up.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm gonna go up the ladder.
Okay. So you motion to Lena to give you her money.
Yes. No, it's like snapping, like kind of, but like without making sound, just kind of like more like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting attention.
Where's my money?
Yeah, exactly.
I will like walk up to you and then kind of let you either pick me up or put me on your shoulder or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'll let you figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys climb up this ladder. It goes up to the house that's adjacent to this one, not the house,
Cool.
the building,
Yeah.
whatever itself.
Good.
They're close enough together. This alley is only like a few feet wide to where you could hop over to the other roof. Just so you know, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. Just like it's jumpable. It's not super far apart, but this one over here does give you this perch where you can look down on the alley from up above, and as long as you guys don't stick your heads out too far, probably not be visible.
Cool. That I'm gonna post up. Honestly, I think staying still and quiet is a good thing for now, and I may recommend that Lena go across the. I mean, she's a cat; she can leap as far as she wants, go to the other side without being noticed. She's gonna be really quiet. But I'm gonna stay put and hopefully to see if those guards return or if there's any movement inside.
Okay. You're going to stay put with her, Lena?
For a little bit, yeah. And then eventually I'll jump across. But for now, I think I'll stay put.
And how long are you intending to keep watch?
I'm at least going to stay completely still and like focus for about half an hour.
Okay. I'd like both of you to make stealth checks, please.
And you still have the +10 from Pass Without a Trace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do I as well?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
next, Elena.
So I rolled a 13, so 23.
A 19, so 29.
Okay. Pass without a trace.
Damn, that's good.
It lives up to the name. You guys both kind of just sit quietly on the roof, and you hear still some conversation and some people kind of walking about in the main thoroughfare through the bazaar. Even with everything closed down, the whole place is still kind of a sight to behold, and there are people that seem to prefer the quieter time and are just out and having conversation, or maybe there's a couple people on dates, or, just going about their life. Nobody out of place comes down the alleyway. Everybody seems to be keeping themselves to the main streets and not wandering off the beaten path. And as a half hour passes, you kind of get to the point where you're like, no activity. And just as you kind of start to second guess that, there is a pair of gentlemen in the same garb that are starting to come down the alleyway.
Okay. I'm going to continue to stay completely still, but I am going to lean forward just enough so that I can kind of like keep eyes on them, or until they kind of come out of view when I'm trying. I don't want to be like visible to them, but enough that I can hear them more than see them.
Okay. Make a perception check, both of you, please.
21.
19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The thing that both of you notice is that they are not saying anything to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking alongside each other, no conversation. And that, especially from this distance and in this quiet now, as opposed to the hustle and bustle that was present earlier, their footsteps are not making any sound.
Oh shit.
They're
Okay.
walking down this alleyway. You can see them taking steps, so they're not like levitating. And yet, despite the fact that it's relatively quiet over here, their footfalls leave no impression.
That is very good to know. And when we were walking, we could hear ourselves.
Correct.
We didn't have.
Even
okay,
as you came
so-
down that same alleyway, you did have the sound, the quiet sound, obviously, as you were being sneaky, but there was a little like as you walked.
Okay.
Not
Well,
the case
then
here.
Okay, there is magic afoot then. Absolutely. Probably.
Literally.
Yeah, I get it.
Give me inspiration. Anyway.
There's a D6 for go fuck yourself.
So I'm not going to say anything until they are clear out of eye and earshot. But I definitely want to tell Lena that, there's clearly some kind of magic that's keeping the house quiet, that's keeping them quiet. And that, I think Isaac's going to be really excited to hear that, I think, as I know we were confused why it was so quiet in there, but now we know. Or
Can I
maybe
do
we
an
know.
Arcana check as a cat? I don't know if I can.
I don't see why not.
Okay, I'm going to try.
I would also like to try, just because I'm not great at it, but
Sure.
I like to imagine that Grail just looks over to Lena and is just
What
like,
the crap, Michelle?
I didn't crit.
Oh, yeah, I apologize.
I got a 22.
A 7.
Yeah.
"What how'd you roll? 3? Jesus.
Yeah, not very good.
You have the highest wisdom in our group,
Mm-hmm.
so no.
Didn't help, though. The dice have decided. Lenny, you really don't detect anything. And Grail, you're finding yourself becoming a little bit more attuned with magic as you go along here, even though it's still relatively new to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had kind of at least some sense of when there's some sort of innate magic happening in an area. At least from here, as you watch the two of them walk silently down the alley, use a key to open the door, open it, close it, which does make a sound. Quiet, they're not trying to slam it, but it does make a noise. You don't sense anything magical coming from at least that immediate area. You're not entirely sure if you would be able to detect it all the way inside through the walls and stuff without any visual on
Right.
it, but at least in this immediate area, you don't sense any magical influence at play.
Okay, and I will tell Lena that and say, did you feel anything from them or from the building?
I kind of squint and like one kind of shake in my head.
Okay. And so when they opened the door, was it dark inside completely?
Yep. At least from this, I mean, you don't have a great look inside from up here on the roof, but what little you could see inside, yes, was dark.
I am going to like crouch. I mean, I'm already kind of crouched, but I'm going to lean down to where Lena is and say very quietly, like whisper, would you be comfortable jumping across to the other side and seeing if there's any additional movement, any sounds, anything coming from in there?
I kind of give a very quiet little like, "Meow," and then I kind of back up and like get poised to jump across.
Oh shit! And so how far
Don't
away?
fall.
It's like, well, I don't think it would be that far down. Cats land on their feet. It's fine.
Sure. All right, go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
Okay, guys. Plan B is you just grab her by the tail and just
What if my
fling
cat
her
doesn't
across the
have
room.
acrobatics?
There we go. I could just throw her, I guess, but I don't think it's that far across.
Do I just do a regular acrobatics then? Because my cat form doesn't have acrobatics.
Then you're just using like it only will only list things that it has proficiency in. So it's just your dex essentially. Does that make sense?
So do I just roll my dex?
Yes,
Should be
basically.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Critical fail.
That one.
Yes. God damn it all.
So Grail, you watch
Fall off this
as
goddamn roof.
Lena readies herself, steals herself for this jump, which is still only like 4 feet across, definitely doable for a cat. And she like gathers up on her hind legs, like squishes down, goes to leap, and there's that half second where you're like, yeah, like she's gonna make it, and then her feet slip, and instead
I've
of
seen this cat video.
instead of extending across the gap, she just goes and falls forward.
Oh my god. So I'm not going to do anything immediately because if they hear this, does Lena make any noises?
I'm going to try my damnedest to be quiet and not do any sound.
Okay. I mean, well, no, like if they hear like some commotion, they might come out and be like this fucking cat kind of a thing. So I wasn't sure like if they heard anything, but I'm going to give it like 10-15 seconds before I kind of like lean over the like the roof and
Does she take damage?
Yeah, how
Well,
high?
we'll get there.
Oh, no.
So you're just gonna. So as you watch her fall, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, Lena.
Hold on, gotta find my sheet again.
The DC on this will be helped a little bit by the fact that you're a cat, so that's something.
Uh-oh.
4. Why do my rolls suck all of a sudden?
So Grail, you watch as Lena kind of like keel hauls over the edge, and you're like, I know cats. They're like smaller sheep. Should be able to land on her feet just fine. And then you watch as Lena just kind of on her side on the bottom of the
God.
on the alley. It's not super loud. She does kind of let out a little bit of an audible noise as she hits, like a yelp of sorts. Not super loud, but you kind of can't help it because it hurts.
Yeah.
You take.
I'm imagining, Michaela, you Gandalf it. Like you catch yourself for a second. And you look at Grail. And then you fall.
Right. It's like
You fools.
the Wile E. Coyote, like get halfway out, hover for a minute, put up the yikes sign. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, you're not a cat anymore.
Yep. And the impact as it hurts jars you out of your animal shape. The excess spills over to your HP, which isn't much, but
Fuck. Okay.
you now,
that's-
Grail, you watch from the top as Lena crashes to the ground and is now back in her usual wood elf form.
Okay, that actually changes things. I'd forgotten that she leaves her cat form.
And the good news is she hit as a cat and not as a person, so it was not nearly as loud as it could have been. It did make an audible noise. You heard it from the
Okay.
top of the roof. Again, not super loud, but audible.
Shit. So I'm gonna lean over, still on the roof, and quickly. I'm not gonna like say anything, but I'm gonna send a message so very quietly, just to Lena, and say, "Are you okay?" And then we follow that up immediately with, "Take cover."
Okay, and at first I'm a little surprised that I'm like hearing voices in my head, but then I like respond very quietly, like, "Yes, I'm fine." And then I dart away.
Okay.
Try to take cover. Try to decide if I should go into another animal form, like dragon, and just fly. Screw this jumping nonsense. I still have one more form in me.
I mean, that's true.
do
You could just
that.
fly back. You could just go up in the air, and it would take you a little bit longer. But
I'm gonna do that, I think. Because I don't really want to be climbing around, because I've proven today that I just can't do jack.
To be fair,
So-
cats have a climb speed, so climbing is not a problem. You just can't just jump all the time. Is the thing.
I guess. Yeah, nope. And just
They have a climb speed, not a fly speed, is what I'm saying.
So for the final animal shape of the day, you're going to go pseudo dragon.
I don't know. Because I'm also trying to think, if we go back, will I go back as a person or a cat? What would be easiest?
do you have like another like flying form at all, like a bird? No.
it's just dragon. I guess I could like hide in your like. Do you have a jacket or something that I could hide in if we have to do that?
Yeah.
Or
I have like a cloak, like a traveler's outfit, so I could probably hide you. It's
Okay.
dark-ish.
yeah.
Or you just fly up above, and I don't think anyone's gonna notice you.
So what's our
Well,
final
that's fair.
answer here?
Tiny dragon. I'm not doing this jumping bullshit again.
Okay.
Not taking any chances.
Flying up to where Grail is, other side, somewhere else.
I'm gonna fly to the other side like I intended.
Okay.
Where I'm supposed to be.
Both of you make a stealth check, please.
Is pass without a trace concentration?
Yeah,
I
it
think it
is.
might be. So yeah, that's a good point.
So okay, so I have 28.
I think I have 6.
Yeah.
6. This without the plus 10, right? I'm assuming, because it wasn't
Yeah,
negative.
yeah.
But the 28 was that with the plus 10 or no?
No.
Nope. I have plus 10 as it is.
Make a Constitution saving throw, Michaela. Good news is it wasn't that much damage. The DC is not super high for this, but we need to check.
4.
Damn.
That's gone.
Yeah, so that doesn't stay then. So
Sorry,
this-
I hate to be that guy.
No, I know that's not enough. Let's say it's a pretty low bar, but that's not high enough.
Wait, what?
Anytime you have a
How's that
concentration
trace
spell up,
gone?
if you take damage, you have to pass a Constitution saving throw.
No, I just assumed that had broken.
No, she had a chance to maintain it, but unfortunately that's not high enough.
Yeah.
So it's just a 6 then. Grail, from your vantage point on the roof, you watch as the door opens below,
Shit.
and just one of the gentlemen in black looks around the alleyway, looks to his left, looks to his right, and then here's what well, let's see. You could roll a 1. I roll so bad with them. That's not a 1. Let's see. Lotta T scroll. Lotta T didn't think they'd have to roll anything. Lotta T. That's enough still, even though we rolled a natural 5. Looks up. Here's what sounds like just the quiet, light, but still flapping of wings, and sees what he isn't entirely sure what it is, but he sees some kind of creature flying up to the roof, the opposite side of you, Grail. Does not see you. As you kind of duck behind the building, you kind of see the door open and go, "Oh shit!" But as she's still making her way up, seems to notice something, and looks directly at her. Goes back inside and closes the door.
Whew. I take a very like held in. I finally exhale like very slowly.
She takes a sigh and they open the door again.
Yeah, I know.
What is that? Someone's
There
breathing?
she is. So interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for Lena to like situate herself on the other side, and then I'm gonna send her a message. But I'll wait for that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of lay down and just try to be quiet.
Lie down. Try not to
look,
cry.
I'm probably looking a little meek, because I am embarrassed and upset. So I'm just like,
Okay, so once you're situated and you kind of like lay down, I will send a message to you and just say, everything's okay. This is fine.
And I kind of look at you, but I don't know. Can I respond? Even if,
I think so.
Yeah, you can.
but I can't.
You can normally, but
but I
she's a
can't
pseudo dragon
speak.
right now, who can't talk. I don't know. You have to see the spell specifics.
Yeah,
Pretty sure it's an actual whisper, so I don't.
I don't think you can.
Oh.
It's essentially
Yeah.
whispering that you
Yeah.
can sort of hear inside your head, but she can't communicate in this form.
yeah.
So it's a one-way thing right now.
Okay, and so I'm gonna post up for another half hour.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable leaving at this point. They seem to be really aware of that alley, and I have to get down. So
Lena, what are you doing?
Staying put. I'm not gonna freaking move if I don't have to. Make more noise.
So both of you make a perception check, please.
I'm sorry if this is boring for everyone.
No,
Not at
it's
all.
fine. I just want to do good.
High tension.
20? Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got 19.
Swell. Finally.
From your respective positions, you kind of settle back in for the long haul and are just hoping to find some more information. It does not take half an hour. In fact, it's more like about a minute and a half before the door opens again.
Good.
And this
okay.
time, 2 individuals spill out. Still no sound on their footsteps, nor are they saying anything to one another still. And they start walking towards the ladder.
Holy fuck.